to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Fort Myers. Our mission is inspired by love. We transform ourselves and serve others. At UUCFM, we seek to foster a climate of purposeful inclusion and safety of all people, regardless of race, ethnicity, age, ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, spiritual path, or national origin. My name is Leslie Gatto. I choose to serve this congregation as a worship associate, a part of the Social Justice Action Team, and a member of the Welcoming Congregation Team. We are so glad you're with us today, in person or online. If you are visiting or feeling new to the congregation, you are invited to complete a connection card found in the chat box online or at the welcome table. Please join us following the service in Hobart Hall to the right as you leave the sanctuary. We would love to get the chance to know you. Today at 11:45, anyone interested in social justice action will meet briefly in Reverend Sue's office to the left. Please join us. And now, let us begin our service.
Good morning, everyone. As we gather on a sacred day, as all days are, we embrace the spirit of renewal and remembrance. Today marks the convergence of two significant observations for Unitarian Universalists. Easter, a celebration of resurrection and new life, and International Transgender Day of Visibility. In the rich tapestry of our Unitarian Universalist faith, we have the privilege to hold space for both joys and sorrow, for celebrations and reflections, and for the intersection of many observances that mark the moments of our lives together. Thank you for being here and for worshiping with us.
Please rise and embody your spirit as we light our chalice, recite our covenant, and sing our opening hymn. The opening hymn today will be "Lo, the Earth Awakes Again," number 61 in your hymnal. But if Christianity is your path and you would rather sing the lyrics that go with "Christ the Lord is risen today," please feel free to do so. We want you to be comfortable in any way that makes you happy. Our chalice lighting. As we light this chalice, may its flame symbolize the spirit of renewal and resurrection found in Easter, reminding us of the transformative power of love and acceptance. On this Transgender Day of Visibility, let the chalice flame also represent the light that breaks through the shadows of misunderstanding, fostering visibility and understanding for the diverse tapestry of gender identities. May the warmth of this flame inspire us to embrace the beauty of renewal, the courage of visibility, and the boundless love that unites us all in our shared humanity. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Our story for all ages is From the Stars in the Sky to the Fish in the Sea. And normally I would invite young and young at heart to come and join me, but I think you're going to be able to see it better on the screen this morning than you are behind this mess that I've got up here. The story is written by Cheng Thom. Once upon a time, in a little blue house on a hill on the edge of town, a baby was born. They were born when both the moon and the sun were in the sky, so the baby couldn't decide what to be, boy or girl, bird or fish, cat or rabbit, tree or star. So the baby looked a little like everything. They looked very strange. All the same, the baby's mother gave her child a bath and rocked them in her arms. "Your name," she said, "is Milan." And she sang a song that her own mother had sung to her long ago. "Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be. From the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. You can crawl like a crab or with feathers fly high, and I'll always be here. I'll be near, standing by. And you know that I love you till the day that I die." And even though they still couldn't decide, the baby felt loved. Milan grew up to be a strange, magical child who was always changing. They grew feathers and wings to fly with bluebirds in the mornings, scales and a tail to swim with fish in the afternoons, and fur and paws to play with puppies in the evening. No matter how many things Milan became, their mother always brought them back into the little blue house, gave them a bath, and tucked them into bed at the day's end. As the stars rose, she sang, "Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be. From the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. and Milan felt loved. One day it was time for the child to go to school. They were so excited. They grew a tail of peacock feathers and a coat of tiger stripes. "Have fun," said Milan's mother. But when they got to school, the other students were either boys or girls. They had no feathers, no scales, no leaves, no fur, no fins, not even any sparkles. No one invited Milan to play. One little boy ran up to the child and asked, "What are you supposed to be?" Milan didn't know how to answer. When they came home, their mother asked them how they'd liked school. "It's okay," said Milan. "Did you make any friends?" "Not really," said Milan. That night, Milan's mother tucked them into bed and sang, "You can crawl like a crab or with feathers fly high, and I'll always be here. I'll be near, standing by. And you know that I'll love you till the day that I die." And Milan felt loved, but also worried. The next day, they wore a turtle shell and a porcupine spine. No one pulled or poked Milan, but the other children still pointed and whispered. "Did you make any friends today?" asked their mother. "Not really," said Milan. That night, Milan's mother tucked them into bed and sang, "Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be, from the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea." And Milan felt loved, but they also felt sad. The next day, Milan wore no feathers, no scales, no leaves, no fur, no fins, no shells, no spines, not even any sparkles. Milan was invited to play baseball with the boys. No one pointed, whispered, laughed, or stared, but when Milan joined the little girls playing hopscotch, "Boys don't play hopscotch," said the little girl. "Are you a boy or a girl anyway?" asked the little boy. "Didn't you have a shell the other day?" asked a little girl. "And feathers the day before?" "What are you supposed to be?" said several children at once. "I don't know," Milan shouted, and galloped out of the playground on horses' hooves, swam through the stream with a fish's tail, and soared up the hill on eagle's wings. "How was school?" asked Milan's mother. "I wore feathers and stripes so that the other kids would think I was beautiful, but they thought I was weird. And then I wore a shell and spine so that no one would pull or poke me, but they wouldn't talk to me. And then I tried to be just like everyone else, but I haven't made any friends. I can't decide what to be. Why do I have to be just one thing?" "It isn't always easy to be different from everyone else," said their mother. "But you can only be who you are." "What if the other children don't like who I am?" sniffled Milan. Their mother smiled sadly. "I don't know," she admitted, "but I do know this. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be, from the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea." And Milan felt loved. That night, they slept a deep sleep. The next day, Milan wore fur, feathers, scales, leaves, and many sparkles that glittered like stars. For a moment, none of the other children spoke. Then a little girl said, "You can fly? That's so cool." "I like your sparkles," said a little boy. I'm sorry I pulled your feathers, said the boy with red hair. I was just a little jealous of them. Milan asked, does anyone want to play with me? They showed the other children how to gallop like horses, climb like monkeys, and swim like fish. It was fun to be many different things. And the child of fur, feathers, scales, leaves, and sparkles, who was neither boy nor girl, but many things, and always changing, felt happy. In the little blue house on the hill at the edge of town, Milan's mother smiled and sang the song her mother had sung to her once upon a time. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be. From the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. You can crawl like a crab or with feathers fly high, and I'll always be you. I'll always be near, standing by, and you'll know that I love you till the day that I die. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be, for you are my child, courageous and free. The end. For about a year now, the Welcoming Congregation Renewal Team, chaired by Kat Pavetti, has been meeting monthly for the purpose of fulfilling the UUA's designation as a welcoming congregation. These meetings are open to everyone in the congregation. What is a welcoming congregation, you might ask? A welcoming congregation is one who is educated about and embracing of LGBTQ plus TGNB communities. And what is that? LGBTQ plus TGNB is the abbreviation for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning, plus, and trans, genderqueer, and non-binary. There are certain practices each congregation engages in to maintain the welcoming designation. The first practice is to incorporate welcoming worship into our ordinary worship services. You may have noticed these practices in our worship services during our welcoming words, reflections, sermons, readings, and music. The second practice is to recognize and celebrate at least 2 of the 13 welcoming days of observance. These days bring visibility and affirmation to LGBTQ plus TGNB communities. This year, we offered services on Pulse Night of Remembrance and National Coming Out Day, while touching on several other days of the observance. The third practice is welcoming religious education for children and adults. We have offered religious education to children in several of our Stories for All Ages and to our adults on Zoom. I'd like to recognize and honor Kat Pavetti for her leadership of most of the programs offered on Zoom, including poetry, Voices of Oppression, Social Justice Book Group, Two-Spirit Identities Workshop, Equal Rights, Welcoming Congregation Renewal, and Combating Fascism. Kat was also instrumental in the creation of the Freedom to Read Library. Did you know that many books are banned because of LGBTQ TGNB issues, either real or imagined? Yesterday, a lively discussion of the documentary Kumahina was led by Reverend Sue and I. The final practice is supporting a welcoming project. This year, our congregation supported Southwest Florida Voices as a community sharing partner recipient. You will hear more about Southwest Florida Voices later. My reflection this morning is in observance of International Transgender Day of Visibility, which is observed on March 31st. First, I would like to point out that I'm not a part of the LGBTQ plus TGNB community. I like to think I'm an LGBTQ plus TGNB ally, but I know I'm not even close to being an expert, and I still make plenty of mistakes. As a cisgender straight woman, I only speak to you today with an open heart for my LGBTQ plus TGQNB siblings. Visibility includes recognizing the reality that trans women and trans men do not decide or choose to be transgender. Decisions are made about how to present themselves. Choices are made about whether to undergo surgeries or other medical options. But the essence of who they are is not a choice any more than eye or skin color is a choice. And it's not unnatural either. Many civilizations have been taught inaccurate information about physical anatomy, sexual behavior, reproduction, and gender. This is because early religious teachings and scientists, including botanists, zoologists, and biologists, originally defined sex and gender only using binary language. That is, either male or female, him or her, bride or groom, boy or girl, etc. Therefore, anyone that didn't fit this either-or concept was labeled unnatural, weird, disgusting, evil, and or you name it. These notions became a part of our social norms to such an extent that today some people fear or even hate anyone who doesn't fit into the either-or male or female category. Through the centuries, religions and societies have been slow to change, while science has continued to evolve. Scientific studies have shown that binary sex and gender are not universal standards. There are many examples in nature. Have you heard that clownfish can switch from male to female, as in transgender? And goby fish can switch back and forth being male and female. In other words, they are gender fluid. Do you know that bluehead wrasse fish have 3 common sexes? Male, female, and female? The striped parrotfish exhibits 5 distinct genders, and transsexuality is so ordinary that its absence is considered an anomaly. Snails, starfish, sea cucumbers, and sea urchins all lay eggs, which they can then fertilize themselves. Many types of deer, moose, and elk have intersex individuals. Does nature showcase fluidity in gender expression too? You bet. Birds of prey, ducks, chickens, finches, damselflies, dragonflies, and butterflies have all been observed in the coloring of the opposite sex. In the plant world, non-binary examples also exist. After 150 years as a male tree, a female branch grew on that same tree. Avocado trees seamlessly transition between male and female reproductive phases within a span of 36 hours. During the day, they unfurl pollen-producing flowers, while by night, they bloom with pollen-receiving buds. Ginger plants switch to the opposite sex throughout the day. One last question. Do you know about this Schizophilium commune fungus? This fungus can have more than 23,000 sexual identities in the form of varied mating types, including numerous asexual and non-sexual methods of reproduction. Lee Davies, an expert on fungus, says, "Fungi are good at reminding us that there are so many ways to be. This diversity is useful to remind us as humans that we can do the same as well." So is it any wonder then that LGBTQ plus TGNB humans exist naturally? People don't choose to be LGBTQ plus TGNB. They simply are who they are. Very much like the butterflies Melissa talked about a couple of weeks ago, a butterfly begins as an egg, then a larva, a pupa, and once metamorphosis has occurred, emerges as an adult butterfly. The larva's longing to be more fully herself, himself, or themselves is parallel to the longing trans people may feel to become who they know themselves to be. As trans allies, we must allow the transition or metamorphosis to occur in any or all or none of the ways that our trans siblings need them to. Humans are not either or. We're complicated. We are diverse. We simply are.
Mary
I place the final stone this morning for all that goes unshared, that we're holding close in our hearts. Let us be mindful of the power of love and of community to heal and to uphold life. Blessed be and amen. Let us join our hearts in the spirit of prayer and meditation. For all of those who celebrate the resurrection of Jesus, may this day be another affirmation of divine love and promise. For all of you who see the eternal story of a new spring and life beginning anew, may you breathe deeply of a season of promise and hope. For all of you who are experiencing despair or hopelessness this Easter, may you find in the darkness or depression a doorway to light and warmth that offers you freedom. For all of us, together, we can do what no one isolated person can do. Rolling the heavy stone aside reminds us we are far more powerful than we ever could be on our own. Let our offering of strong hands to help, our prayers made real. Let us begin again today in love. Blessed be and amen. I'd invite you to stay seated. Our reflective hymn is number 78, Color and Fragrance.
Thank you. But you should know how to connect with
Yeah, I mean, I've done it before, but I was out here.
My colleague Mark Bellatini writes these lovely words about Easter. We are here to link our memory of love past and our hope for deeper love to come in this present hour, thanksgiving and praise. Lo, how fly the years, and another Easter is upon us. Once again, the flowers unfold like our best dream. Once again, the color and the fragrance surprise us as if for the first time. Once again, life stretches and reaches beyond its own horizon. Once again, the day of sheer Alleluia dawns, and we are glad to be alive and to see another day. It's true. Lo, how fly the years, another Easter is upon us. It's amazing how fast time flies, and faster as we age. Is that true? Because it feels that way. I think that time warp is for another sermon. But each year I arrive at this day and struggle mightily with Easter. Last year, you might remember, if you were here, that I preached on the Easter story, but in a format that reminded us that we really are not sure what happened. I won't bore you with the facts of how the chapters of the Bible came to be and how much we might or might not take as truth or reality. But regardless, at this time of year, I can't help but think about the ideas of death and resurrection and renewal, metaphor or reality. I thought a lot this year about resurrection not as an event. Maybe I should struggle every Sunday with this concept, not just on Easter, because resurrection is a process, not an event. This way of thinking seems to serve me as a UU. To also understand that Easter invites us to contemplate the themes of rebirth and transformation, the triumph of hope over despair. Why not pause at least once a year to contemplate what it means for hope to triumph over despair? It's a time to reflect on the process of death and resurrection present in our own personal lives and in the world around us. Just as the springtime brings forth new growth after the cold embrace of winter, at least that's what I remember for living in the north, Easter does remind us that even in our darkest moments, there is potential for renewal, for transformation. I talked to one of you this week, and I spent a long time talking about how we have the opportunity to take those moments of darkness and to reframe them into moments of light. In the spirit of Easter and on this Trans Day of Visibility, we are called to embody the values of compassion, acceptance, and inclusivity. We are called to stand in solidarity with our trans siblings, to listen to their stories, to amplify their voices, and to work tirelessly for justice and equality. Just as Jesus taught us to love our neighbors as ourselves, so too must we extend that love to all members of our human family, regardless of their gender, identity, or expression. Why not pause maybe more than once a year, to remember what we are called to do. As we celebrate the promise of a new life, we can't ignore the stark reality, the violence and injustice that continues to plague our world. I can't imagine how there might be celebrations of Easter in many parts of the world right now. How is it that we can plug into those feelings of hope triumphing over death in the midst of war? So we are called to remember those who have lost their lives, to reaffirm our commitment to creating a world where all people are treated with dignity, respect, and love, and are seen as their authentic selves. What a beautiful story Leslie read this morning of trying to find the capacity to be our authentic selves. I have to admit, I've also been struggling with the customs around Easter. This year, they have brought so much tragedy. Many of you know that Ulysses and I have lived, well, Ulysses his whole life, but I have lived in Latin America for the last 10 years or so. And Holy Week, Semana Santa, is the week of the year where the entire country, actually all of the countries of Latin America, they all have the week off. It's vacation for everyone. In Costa Rica, they even know how to chemically treat the pineapples so that they don't have to be picked during Semana Santa. It's funny, but it's true. It has become such a sacred time. In Costa Rica, it is mostly the Nicaraguan people who come and pick the pineapples and the other crops. And so Semana Santa is the one week they get to go back to their home country and see their family. I'm not sure if it's just become the vacation week or if it really is about the holy time of Easter. But this year, and I think it's many years, as thousands and thousands and thousands of people are making pilgrimages, mostly for the sea, and sometimes in search of a baptism or just the vacation at the beach, there has been so much tragedy. Even folks who can't afford to travel find a bus that brings them to the sea so that they can sleep on the beach and feel the sunrise on Easter morning. But this year, 45 Easter pilgrims in South Africa were killed in a tragic bus accident. Miraculously, one 8-year-old girl survived. 2 days ago, 7 members of the same family died in a car accident in Cartago, Costa Rica, on the way to their beach. I have been thinking about the men who died in the bridge collapse in Baltimore this week. Heroic immigrants, all from Central America, who saved the lives of countless people by stopping the traffic on both sides of the bridge when the Mayday call came. Do you know what they were doing there? Their job is to fill potholes from midnight to 8. One of them had been filling potholes for the last 17 years before he fell to his death. So all of this made me think about immigration, and then it moved my mind to Israel and Gaza and the Ukraine. And I thought, how do I stand in front of the congregation with our orchids and beautiful flowers, by the way, from the gala, of the Gulf Coast Symphony and our beautiful colors and preach about joy and the resurrection of Easter without also thinking about that which compels us in the opposite direction. But then I went back and decided that it is about hope. It's why you board the bus to go to the beach to feel the sunrise. It is about hope. The hope of the resurrection, whether it is real for you or metaphorical, or whether it is about the regeneration of plants and flowers. It's what moves us to make the pilgrimage to the beach, to make the pilgrimage from a life of desperate poverty to the United States as an immigrant to fill the potholes at night. It is what continues to move us, hope. So maybe, just maybe, we can be part of making the resurrection a reality. How can we do better for immigrants, for workers in the fields in Immokalee, or the people filling those potholes? How do we do a better job at providing affordable housing? How do we do a better job supporting the LGBTQ community and helping our trans siblings be more visible? How do we do better supporting those people with mental illness and depression? Well, here's the good news. You are sitting in a place who is committed to creating the resurrection and hope. That last question, I actually have an answer for. Most of the time, I just put out the questions and I leave you hanging. You got to figure out how to plug in and fix those things that I've asked you to fix or take those actions. But I have an answer for you for how might we support those people near us who are struggling with mental health issues. On April 9th, Life will sponsor the Nehemiah Action. Each congregation is asked to attend this action with the same number of people who normally attend on a Sunday morning. I don't know how many that is today, but it's a bunch. Marge represents us on Life and does amazing work. She told them that there would be 45 of us at the Nehemiah Action. There's more than 45 people here. And so she thought, well, of her small group of people who work with Life, there were 9 of them. If they just brought 3 friends, that would be 45, right? But if all of you commit to bringing 1 or 2 friends, who knows how many people will be there? Life, thank you, Allie. Life is one of the best examples of justice in action. And this year, they have committed to supporting folks in our community who struggle with mental health issues. And they have a plan. And I hope that you will take this opportunity to be part of the resurrection of 2024. So this year, I'm still not sure what happened. And even if it is not your Easter story of your youth, it is the commitment to justice work that gives hope, that is the story that we're engaged in now. I'm still not sure what happened back then. I'm still not even sure what this Easter service is supposed to be about. But I know that I want us to be able to wear our wings and our sparkles and our prickles and our fur. And I know from the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea, we have the capacity to be friends, to have hope, to be a truly welcoming congregation, to do justice in the world. Maybe today is the resurrection of hope for you, for this congregation. In the words of Luke Stevens Royer, he said, "This is the day, one of so many days, when love comes to life again, when death is overcome, ashamed at its weakness against the bright blaze of light, the resplendent resilience of life. This is the day, one of so many days, when memories of gratitude, hope, joy, and laughter and love break through the hard memories of grief and sorrow and loss. Thank goodness. The day when the life lost becomes a living spirit in community, in hearts and hands and voices and vision, by name, in presence and possibility. This is the day, one of so many days, when the sun breaks through the sheets of clouds and renews the face of the earth with the green blades and the budding petals, running water, the bird song. This is the day, one of so many days, when we get to gather together, proclaim with the strength in our heart song, hope. Love has come again. Life continues, and hope has come again. May it be so.
Each week, we generously give to support this congregation and also a nonprofit partner who shares in our values. Southwest Florida Voices, previously Southwest Florida Gay and Lesbian Chorus, has been performing for over 30 years. The members are LGBTQ+ and their allies. They bring music locally, regionally, and nationally. All loose money will go to the Southwest Florida Voices. If you would like your offering to go to UUCFM, please designate that on the offering envelope found at the welcome table. On Zoom, click the link in the chat box and designate UUCFM and/or our community sharing partner. If you are a guest, please place your connection card in the bag. The morning offering will now be generously given and gratefully received. in body or spirit as we recite the words of gratitude. By the work of our hands and the work of our hearts, our love is made real. May we be grateful for all that is given and grateful for all that is shared. And now we extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our final hymn is number 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
Another colleague of mine, Patrick O'Neill, wrote these words. We all struggle with Easter. He says, Easter is an impossible story written for everyone who has ever felt the sting of death and wishes for something more. Easter is a story for anyone who lives life so much that they pray for more life to follow. Easter is a story for people who can envision a loving divinity that will not be conquered by evil. It's a story of love that never dies, of immovable objects that get tossed aside, of happy endings in a tragic world. It's a story of miracles, of faith rewarded and vision restored and hope justified. That's what Easter is. Let us all go in peace.
We're so grateful you were with us today. Please greet your neighbor and then join others in Hobart Hall for refreshments and conversation. We look forward to seeing you again next Sunday. Go in peace.